First, you're going to want to remove the cowl, take off the engine cover at this point, then you can move under the car. Take off the bottom panel, which is supposed to be 16 8mm. Spray the bolts with PB Blaster, or at least WD-40 or something of that nature.
Hey, just easing the tension, baby. Just easing the tension.
So you can let it sit while you do the rest of the stuff. So those are 12mm. Alright, that's all four. I highly recommend removing the steering rack bolts, which I think are E12s on the bottom, and then the top nut is a 16mm. This is just spaced out, you can see, just enough for me to stick my hand in there. It's almost directly on the top. It's just kind of angled towards the passenger side a bit. And then on the front, so the O2 sensors are right here. The other one's right here. And they're in a little cubby, so you kind of just lightly, because this thing's brittle, just edge one side in, hold it, just gently pull it out. Flip them over, and there's a clip here, and what you do is push down. Here you can just trace it back. There are just little clips. When the bottom one twists, you can let the wires twist. I'm just going to pull it out of the clips. There are two more. I don't even think they're clipped in anyways because I unclipped them. They look like this. So there's just that and the plastic clip here, and I think a plastic clip in the back. That's what the setup looks like for the O2 sensor removal. This was barely able to clear with the 3/8. Put gloves on for this because you're probably going to smash your knuckles right into that pipe, as it's easier to remove this first one before you undo the second one above it. The V-band clamps are tight, but not too tight, not even close to the O2 sensor. Let me check out this bottom pipe first, which is the front turbo bracket right here, and it's connected to the transmission, so it looks like you're going to take them out one at a time. So this downpipe's going to have to come out first. This is a 12mm box wrench. Put it there and smack it with a hammer, and it loosened it. This wasn't very tight at all. Now what I did is I took that hanger off. Back here it was an E10. That dropped these mid pipes down a bit, enough to let this loose. And then I took out the V-band clamp and let this dangle. Alright. Also with the clips here, I degreased them. To undo them, you'll have one clip there and one clip there. I just used two little flat heads, and then I just used pliers and grabbed this lip right here and pulled it straight out, and they came out. The black wire is hooked in there, and the other one is hooked in here, right here. I'm using a giant 22mm box wrench and a rubber mallet. So for the V-band clamps, what I did was I stuck a screwdriver up in between the two, I already said that, and then kind of just tap both sides until it's clear. Now is the ideal time. Check your wastegate. Now is a good time to tighten your wastegate too. I'm going to do a vacuum test while this is closed, so what I'm going to do is put a vacuum line on the wastegate and see if it closes all the way. Now would also be the ideal time to change out your vacuum lines. These are super cheap. The front downpipe is longer, the rear downpipe is shorter. The front downpipe has the black, downstream O2, and the rear has the gray downstream O2. So for this, I just stuck a screwdriver in the inside lip like this and just pried upwards like that, and it kind of came out. It's coming out in flakes. The rear downpipe is in. What I did is I put the V-band on the downpipe because it just wasn't possible the other way, and I slid it back. I had a lot of trouble. I just loosely connected these to hold it up because these VRSF ones don't have hanger bolts. It was a pain. So now I'm going to put the O2 sensor in here before I do the next one and tighten this bottom part. I used an inch per pound, so it's 120 inches, which is 10 feet per pound. So for the torque spec for that, and it hit it right about when those two parts touched. Now on the second one, I'm going to put the V-band on, line it up, go from there. Tightening these. This one back here, behind this is the passenger side. The one over here I had to use a flathead and stick a flathead in there to hold the top of the bolt while using a torque wrench to tighten it. These are only supposed to be torqued to 16 foot-pounds. You can access it by doing the wrench thing on this side. I'm facing, that's the back of the car that way. So you can do that right here and right here just by sticking your fingers up. Just be really careful with this metal line here. All right, the job's done. It gets actually a lot easier once you do it and then realize how to do it and then taking it off, putting it on every 2 years if that's the case. Should be a lot simpler the next time around. Thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate the support if you could just subscribe to my channel, throw me a like if it helped you out, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I will be more than happy to answer them. I hope you guys all have really good luck with your projects and faster cars. Take care.